Hey, good evening. Welcome to Facebook Live. This is Kathy Beatty coming to you as usual, Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, to speak into your life, to give you hope, to give you direction, to give you help, tools, all of that. So thank you for joining me tonight, for being with me tonight. Tonight I'm going to talk about a topic that's some of you may be in the thick of, and some of you, if you haven't already been here, you will be here. So I'm going to talk about negotiation and stubbornness in negotiating. But before we do, of course, I've got a couple of announcements. First of all, questions, comment, text. Being aware that this is being broadcast into the private group and also into the public page. So I want you to be aware of that. I don't want that to stop you, but I don't want you to have any surprises. So Single Moms and Family Camp is coming up June 27th through July 3rd. I will be leading the single moms during that week, and I would love to have you. And if you say, oh, I don't know about taking my kids to camp, they can't swim, or I don't know, I can't afford it. Rest assured, we've got all of that covered. So if you're in the state of Michigan or the surrounding states and don't mind a little travel, it's in northern Michigan at Lake Louise, camp at Lake Louise. Higher Ground is what it's called. So there are funds available, there are scholarships, and I'm so grateful to the people who are putting this on and supporting single moms, knowing they carry a heavy load. And single dads, we haven't forgotten about you, but this camp is for the single moms. So if you are interested, connect with me. I will send you the information and we'll get you there. If you are willing, we'll find a way to get you there. Expenses will be there. Great. College kids will be there supervising the water. I know when I was there before, the kids were really a thrill to watch, the older kids, as they directed, and they have their lifeguard training, and there's a nurse on staff, and we've got all the bases covered, even with COVID. Any concerns there, we've got that covered as well. So make sure that you connect with me if you're interested. Last call for this workbook. This strip across here is because this is my one of my proof copies. You won't get this one with the strip, but you'll get one. Last call for next week's going to be June. So I'm no longer sending these out for $10, and that $10 includes postage and shipping and handling and all of that, a straight $10. So if you're interested at all, 30 Days of Healing After Divorce, would love to have you take advantage of that. It is currently on Amazon for $14.99. You can go there too, but I've got a deal for you. So check this out. What I love about this is it says 10 minutes of honesty at a time. And so we're going to work really hard with this book, and also in camp. You'll get a free copy if you come to camp. We're going to work really hard on getting rid of all the facade and all the defenses, and really be honest with ourselves and what our need is, and who we are and what we want. So don't miss camp and don't miss the book. So tonight, stubbornness. Be careful when you're digging in your heels that you're not digging yourself a hole. Now, being a mediator, I have seen this happen in people as they come to the mediation table to negotiate. They are very stern and stubborn, and they are not giving an inch. Well, that doesn't always work in negotiation. You do have to participate. And I've had people in mediation just throw up their hands and say, nope, I'm going to let the judge decide. Well, the reality is the judge may not like either one of you. He or she may not grant either one of you what you really want or need. So you're better off in mediation, but you've got to cooperate. And what you will find, no matter where you're at in this process, if you have kids, you have to learn to cooperate with your former spouse in connecting with kids. Even if they're grown, there's going to be events where you both will be invited to, you'll have to go to. So it's important to learn that. negotiation skill, and not to be stubborn and not to just demand your way. So let me ask you, is it you, or are you dealing with someone else who is stubborn? Now you may say, nope, it's not me, it's him, or nope, it's not me, it's her. Well, that could be. Either way, I hope that some of the information that I give you tonight is going to be of help. You know, there's a scripture that says, let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with malice. So put it away, get rid of it, all that bitterness. And then another scripture, what causes quarrels and fights among you? Is it not this, that your passions are at war within you? Boy, is that the truth. And then there's some other verses in there, but these two verses end with, you do not have because you do not ask. God will provide, and I have seen him provide that which I was denied of, or my children were denied of in going through the divorce. I have seen God provide in different ways. So this is a time to trust him. So is it you, or is it someone that you're dealing with? So let's ask some questions. Oh no, first, let me talk about this. Sometimes in mediation, people will fight and spend legal fees that amount to more than the cost of the item. They will spend $5,000 in legal fees fighting over something for a $2,500 item. I have seen it, and I bet if you ask any mediator, they will tell you that this is the case, and they have seen it. Why is that? It makes no sense other than emotions that have gotten out of control. So, you know, there are some things worth fighting for. Our children, certainly. The safety and welfare and the best for our children, certainly. But be careful that you're not fighting so much that you're losing sight of what's really important. Some people will fight to keep the kids away from the other parent. Now, if your children are in harm's way because they're with the other parent, then that's worth fighting for. If your spouse is an alcoholic or does drugs or drives drunk or whatever, neglects the children, that's worth fighting for. But some people will fight to keep the kids away from the other parent, not realizing, you know, we're pretty narrow-sighted when it comes to going through a divorce because we're in so much pain. But when we're doing that, we're really hurting the children. We're hurting the children. Kids need their mom. Kids need their dad. You can't be all in all to your kids. If the other parent is caring for the children and wants to be with them, don't stand in the way of that, because it will hurt you in the long run, and it will hurt the kids, definitely. So, and many times people will fight because they want to punish the other person because of something that they have done. They want them never to forget and never stop punishing for the sins of what they have done. Well, that's a no-win battle, and it will be a continual battle the rest of your life. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Consider that. So if you're angry and you want to punish, I just want you to know that there are better ways to deal with your anger than by being stubborn and not cooperating with your spouse in mediation or your former spouse after the divorce. So let's ask some questions. Those things that you are stuck on and stubbornly holding on to, honestly, why are you holding out? What is the real motivation for what you're doing? And once we understand and we back up and we say, you know what? I'm doing this to punish him because he hurt me so badly. That's a no-win situation. It really is. You don't want to stay bitter and resentful. You want to move forward into the beautiful life that God has for you. So be honest with yourself. Where's my book? Honesty. 10 minutes of honesty at a time in this book. But as you're going through this and you're being stubborn and you're wanting to fight, ask yourself, why? What is your motivation? Why are you holding out? And are there areas that you can cooperate and meet halfway? So let's focus on those. Maybe there's some that you continue to fight with, but let's emphasize more those ways in which you can cooperate. I don't know what your particular issue might be. Maybe it's putting the kids in bed at an early hour on school nights. Well, that's something that, well, number one, if they're with the other parent, you don't have control over it. So if you're going to fight on that topic, best of luck, but you're not going to get anywhere because you're not in the house to make a difference. But what are those areas? Find those areas that you can cooperate and meet halfway on. When I do mediations, we go for the low-hanging fruit first. We want to know what are those things that we can agree on to start the momentum, to start the agreement momentum, to move forward with it. And then be cautious of the vicious cycle of paybacks. You hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. Then I hurt you, and you're going to hurt me. And all of a sudden, we're going round and round and round in this vicious cycle that never ends. That never ends. And you're miserable because of it. Your children are miserable because of it. So be careful. This can become a vicious cycle of paybacks that really ends up nowhere. Is there something that you're trying to prove? Is there something that you're trying to prove? I hope if you go into mediation that you feel you are able to stand up and speak for yourself. If not, you need to make sure that you have an attorney present. But sometimes people are stubborn and fighting because they want to prove something. Are you trying to prove something? And what would that be? That you are strong enough or able enough? Well, good news is you don't have to prove anything to your former spouse. You don't have to prove anything. It doesn't matter what he thinks any longer. Don't spend your energy on that. Spend your energy on your self-care and taking care of your children. And then again, asking the question, am I trying to punish the other person? It's a no-win. You can't mediate the past, which is a phrase that I heard in mediation training a while back that I keep holding on to because it's a truth. But it also helps us realize, oh, wait, I can't mediate the past. I can't change the past. I have to deal with now. I have to deal with now. And then you can ask yourself, what is the unintended consequences of your stand, of your stubbornness? Is this going to put you in a hole that no one can get you out of except for the courts? You don't want to go there. Trust me, you don't want to go there. What are the unintended consequences? Are you going to become a bitter old woman or a bitter old man because you're not able to negotiate and work through the issues that you have to go through in a divorce or in co-parenting? So be careful. You may be picking fruit from a bitter tree that you have to eat. You'll have to eat. So are you leveraging what you can? What are the areas that you can leverage? What are those power points that you have? Unfortunately, I've seen people use the children as leverage in their stubbornness, not because they're standing up for the children either. It's because they're wanting to hurt the other parent. What is the leverage that you can use? That may be that you have the funds to do something to care for the children better, or they're very young, they still need to be with their mom more. Some would argue that point, but I happen to believe that they need their mommy more often than they need their daddy when they're babies. And you may wonder, you have mediations with babies? Unfortunately, yes. And it's incredibly, incredibly sad. So just use the right leverage. And then as you are stubborn and thinking about why you're taking this stand, ask yourself the question, what boundaries have been trespassed? I am stubborn and I'm taking this stand because you have not respected me. You have not respected my role as a mother, as a father. But this can help us clarify in our own minds. I'm so stubborn on this. Why? Why? Because some boundaries have been trespassed and I feel violated and I feel wronged. Those are things to talk out, whether that's with your attorney, sometimes with your mediator. You can do that in caucus or just a private meeting with your mediator, just to talk through this. Now, your mediator will not be able to counsel you or direct you, but you may simply just need to be processing through what's going on in your head. Now, the best place to do that is in a support group or with your pastor or with a therapist or with a very close, mature friend. So hopefully that will help you to understand why you're being stubborn. So come to grips with what you're taking a stand on and see if it is a healthy reason that you're taking this stand. Is it good for you? Is it going to have a good outcome? Is it going to be beneficial for the children? Now be careful, because we can rationalize so much in our mind and convince ourselves of some things. That's why we need another person. We need a sounding board. We need someone to help us process through, because our emotions are just not trustworthy right now. We need that support. Don't go through divorce alone. Don't go through this mediation process or this legal process alone. Get the support, get that network of experts that you need to help guide you in making these decisions and to help you find your stubborn spots and make sure that you are stubborn for the right reasons. Thanks for joining us tonight. I look forward to seeing you next Friday night. This is Kathy Beatty, Divorce Support Anonymous, Friday Night Live. Take care.